Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast of champions, the Celtic Forever podcast. We've got John here to go over some stuff, news, rumours, gossip, everything that's been going on over the last week, because we've not been on for 7 days since we won the Scottish Cup. So I'm still on the high. Here's John. How are you, John?
Aye, it's all beginning to settle down now, isn't it? Just about. Still watching the highlights, of course. Still, what do you know? I really enjoy the Kilmarnock 5-0 game. I really enjoy watching that for some reason. It reminds me of the night we won the league up at Tannadice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was. I've not watched the Kilmarnock game back, John, but I've watched the Scottish Cup game back a few times. That was just a beautiful day.
Oh, I've watched that as well. I've watched that maybe I don't know how many times, I can't count, but I've watched both of them. But I just enjoy watching that Kilmarnock game. There's just something about winning the league at night times, and I really like that, you know.
Yeah, it was brilliant, John, wasn't it? It was a great night. It was a fantastic night. I was obviously the wee video. I went down to Celtic Park with my grandson. It was just a great night. Came back up the road, had a wee drink, celebrated. So just brilliant. It was just amazing. After what we were told all season, they were going to do everything, and then we come out with a double. But the football stopped for a week now, John. So what have you done to pass the time? Did you watch the Champions League final last night?
Well, they did do everything apart from win the league and the cup.
Yeah, well, they did everything with their mouths. Let's put it that way. Did you watch the Champions League final, John? Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund?
No, I didn't watch that. I seen the score. I remembered it was on. I just wanted to think, I can't be bothered watching it. I've not really getting it interest in it, to be honest with you. I'm not really interested unless Celtic's playing, to be honest with you. I watch everything Scottish. Might sound narrow-minded, but that's just me, Xander, as you know. I don't like watching other leagues and Champions League and all that if Celtic are in it. But I will watch anything Scottish football. That's my thing. That's what I love. And I'll watch the big international tournaments. So that's about it.
Yeah, Euro's coming up very soon as well. But I watched about half an hour of it, John, and Borussia Dortmund hit the post twice, missing 3 or 4 absolute 1-on-1 sitters, John. And then the usual, Real Madrid got up the park, scored a goal and won the cup. So I think that's the 15th time Real Madrid have won that Champions League. So it's no competition just now, is it? The same 2 or 3 teams winning it every year, John.
Nah, it's definitely not a level playing field now. It's not what it used to be.
No.
But we can never look at winning that. We just have to get the money to win a competition like that. Celtic, I mean, just having to get the money. But we can always enjoy taking part in it and see how far we've come every season, Xander. That's all we can do, you know.
Yeah, that's it, John. And it's a big £60 million jackpot this year that we've got in the bag. It's in the bank account there, John. That's all we were looking for. If we can just strengthen the team, that hopefully we'll strengthen the team in the summer. We're going to get into all that, John, obviously. So let's get started, right? I'm going to start with the competition, John. This week we're giving away. I'm going to try to get rid of the last of these prizes before we bring out the new ones, John. So I've still got about 4 or 5 pens left and a couple of Zippo lighters. So the prize is a double prize. Celtic Forever podcast, solid steel ballpoint pen in the box, and the solid steel Celtic Forever monogrammed Zippo lighter up for grabs again, everybody. So 2 prizes this week if you get it right, 1 guess each. And into the comment section, just listen to this wee clip of the mystery Celtic player, ex-Celtic player. So have a wee listen to this.
No, they can expect to see a player who enjoys football, who's not afraid to show his quality. But
so that's it. Very short clip, 1 guess each, and it isn't Chris Sutton, by the way. So 1 guess each, everybody, into the comment section. Good luck with that, and we'll announce the winner on the next podcast we do, whenever that is. It all depends on whether there's any juicy gossip or anything in midweek. So good luck with the competition, folks. Right, John, let's get into this. Right, we'll start with actual news, right, before we get into the gossip and rumours. So there was a bid in January for Matt O'Riley that was not back, so that's came out in the news, right? And it looks as though he's going to be away in the summer, John, Matt O'Riley. I'm hearing talks, wild rumours of 30 to 40 million pounds for Matt O'Riley, John. But it looks as though it could be off. Hopefully we're wrong and he stays. But if that kind of money's been offered, John, I can't see him staying. Can you?
No, Celtic are never going to turn down that kind of money. Realistically, 30, 40 million, I don't know. But then he is a quality player. I'd rather he stayed like yourself, of course. But
Yeah.
it's always good to keep our quality players. But they've got to be realistic. It's Mattarelli's. He's going to be swayed by playing for a bigger club, of course. A bigger club in name only. That's, it's big clubs, big money. It's always going to turn a player's eye. There's no bigger club in Celtic, in my opinion. Just a massive club, Celtic. Oh, all right. It's one of the biggest fan bases in the world, of course. But money talks, Sander. So, aye. A realistic price for Mattarelli, 25, 30 million probably. Don't know. There seems to be a couple of clubs interested in him. The one club I hope he doesn't go to is Atletico Madrid, of course. Don't like them as much as every other Celtic fan. That manager refusing to shake Angie's hand and all that, mind.
Yeah, that's right, John. And that was the club the bid came in for in January. It was Atletico. I think it was £25 million bid, not back, John. So we kept O'Reilly right up until the summer there, or the summer here, should I say? We're right in the middle of summer. But O'Reilly not picked for Denmark either, John. What do you think of that? That's a shock, isn't it?
Aye, well, I was hearing the Denmark manager he was kind of slagging off the Scottish League. It's up to him to do that. I don't think the Danish league is any better than the Scottish league, to be honest with you. Although their international team's pretty good, but I think it's bad news if he's slagging off the Scottish league when look close at home. The Denmark league isn't any better, but I don't know what we're talking about. I forgot what we're talking about. I get carried away there.
We're talking about O'Reilly no pick for Denmark. That's what we're talking about, John. It's a bit of a shock. Player of the year in Scotland, John. All the goals, all the assists, and he doesn't get picked. I mean, they must have some midfield, Denmark.
Aye, Denmark's got a fantastic team. But if he's not getting picked, I've not seen Denmark's team since the last competition, of course, the World Cup. But they've got an excellent team. They've really got an excellent team. But Mattarelli, he should slot. I think if he's at a bigger club, he'll slot right in there, because this guy, obviously, the manager of Denmark, doesn't rate the Scottish League. But maybe if he was playing at a higher level, an apparent higher level somewhere, I don't know. If he goes to Spain, it's definitely a higher level. The Premiership's a higher level. If it goes to why they two places, Xander, I think it's a no-brainer to pick him for the Danish team, aye.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree, John. And they can't be any worse than some of the players that are in that Denmark team. Ericsson, players like that, guys at 36-year-old. Okay, we'll move on for that, John. Unlucky Matt is just it's not your turn yet, pal. So hopefully you stay at the club. But if the big bucks come in, John, I think he's off ski. So we'll park that there, John. We'll move on. What will we move on to next? I've got a few things jotted in here, John. Plastic pitches to be eliminated from the SPL from 2026, John. That's good news.
We spoke about that a while ago.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about them getting eliminated. We did talk about them getting eliminated at the SPL. I think a couple of podcasts ago, actually, they should be eliminated, we were saying.
Yeah.
Because there's no place in a top league for plastic pitches. We spoke about that before. But I think a good few months ago we spoke about that as well, getting rid of the plastic pitches out of the Premier League, and obviously they're no fit for purpose for top tier football. We also spoke about Kilmarnock will be ripping theirs up the end of this coming season.
That's right.
They're ripping theirs up at the end of this coming season, which is good. So hopefully, I don't know. It depends who gets promoted the following season. There'll be no plastic pitches in the SPL, which is good, because they're just a disgrace, aren't they? There is no place for them. We've said it time and time again, and it's nothing but good news if they're getting rid of them things. Keep that stuff for, I don't know, kids to train on. And if anybody's listening thinking, well, why should kids be training on it? Well, when we played years ago, we were playing in red blaze and concrete pitches. You remember that?
Yeah, red blaze, concrete, glass everywhere, but you still had a good game of football, John, didn't you? Obviously, it's changed days, but, these AstroTurf pitches are ideal for training, John. Absolutely ideal. There's no problem there for kickabouts, amateur games, stuff like that. But it's not. It just shouldn't be anywhere near the top flight in Scottish football or any top flight, to be honest with you, John.
Oh no, absolutely not. I know Celtic have got one at Lennoxtown. Artificial surface. It's probably better quality than any of the ones that Kilmarnock, Livingston and that were using, but I don't know. I've never played on it, of course, but Celtic have got one at Lennoxtown, so I take it they train on that when the weather's too bad or something. I think it's an indoor one Celtic's got. But I think Celtic must train on that, Xander, before the games against Livingston and Kilmarnock. Aye.
Absolutely, John. And as you say, any bad weather, ice, snow, or whatever, they can train indoors on that park, because they've got one indoors as well, haven't they? So, just brilliant news. Just good to hear that they're going to be gone after 2026, John. So it's just good news. Every park in the SPL is going to be grass football pitches, so superb. All right, John, I've got a few dates here for you, right, John? The league restarts on the 3rd of August. That's the first game. Obviously, the fixtures have not been announced yet. The date for the fixtures, John, so keep your eye on this one, put it in your diary. The date for the new season fixtures, season 24-25, is the 27th of June. This month, John, 27th this month of June, the fixtures will be announced. So that's a Thursday, so keep your eye on that one. We'll all be keeping an eye on that one, obviously. And the Champions League draw is the 29th of August, John. So that's, 29th of June. Yeah, it is August, 29th of August, Champions League draw there, John. So that's another one to keep your eye on. We'll all have our eyes on that one, Johnny.
Aye, we'll definitely have a. Sorry, Xander, I was pouring a drink of juice there. Aye, we'll have our eye on that, of course. And 60 days before the league kicks off. That's going to be a long 60 days. Then again, in between that, we've got the Euros, of course.
Yeah.
And we've got the League Cup, league stages, the early stages of the League Cup.
Yeah.
So we've got all them to look forward to. And I just like the Scottish game, as you know. So I will watch all of that, the League Cup group stages. I enjoy watching that. So there's a wee bit of football to be played yet. And of course, we've got Wimbledon coming up.
Yeah, well, that's it, John. That's the kind of things you watch when there's no football, isn't it? But Celtic's actual next game, John, is actually 33 days away, because I'm going to run through the pre-season friendlies just now, John. Right, here we go. So, as I say, 33 days away. We play Scott Browns, Ayr United, John, away from home, 7:45 kick-off, 5th of July. That'll be a good wee game, John. A good wee warm-up, if you like. 33 days, John, it's just no long to wait. I quite like the pre-season friendlies. Also, a lot of people don't. John, what do you think?
I enjoy watching anything to do with Celtic, as you know. I don't watch Wimbledon, by the way. That was a joke. I can't stand tennis. It was good when Andy Murray was winning it, just for reasons. I think it really annoyed a lot of the English that a Scotsman went down there and won 2 Wimbledon titles. First one in, I don't know how long, was it 100 years or something like that? I know. It's just, that's the only time I liked it, when he was winning the Wimbledon stuff. Then he got injured and I stopped winning it. So it's been a long time. Anyway, back to Celtic. I enjoy watching the friendlies. I love watching anything to do with Celtic, of course. The women's team, men's team, of course. I don't know, under 18s, whatever it is. If they've got a Celtic top on, Xander, I'm watching it. There you go.
Yeah, that's it, John. And it's only just over 4 weeks away till we're back in action. So it's long enough, I suppose, isn't it? Because we're going to be watching. At least we've got the Euros to fill the gap there, John, as you say. We've got that to look forward to. Next friendly, John, is actually, it's just a few days later. It's on the 10th of July. Queen's Park away, John. So we play Queen's Park. So 2 games in 5 days there, John, right away.
Aye. I'd imagine that would be played at Lesser Hampden and no Hampden itself.
I'm not sure, John, of the actual location of that. I didn't check that out, to be honest with you. But it could be Hampden, John. But it's but I think it'll be one of the closed doors ones, won't it? Because it's too early in the season. But as you say, yeah, it'll be probably Lesser Hampden, as you say, John. You're probably right. And then we move on to the USA Tour, which starts on the 21st of July. So let's have a look at that, John. We played DC United Obviously, it's in the USA. Obviously, played DC United on the 21st, Manchester City on the 24th, and Chelsea on the 27th of July, John. So 3 games in a week there as well.
Aye, that'll be a good one. That'll be a tour. I look forward to watching all the games. I'm not sure, like says, the one against Queen's Park might just be a behind closed door game. Don't know about the one against Scott Brown's Ayr United. That'll be a good one, But I look forward to the wee tours. They're always good. I'm looking forward to it. But the Euros will tide us over until the Celtics start to play their friendlies under. So that's good wee bit of football to watch, yeah.
Yeah, John. Football starts back for us in 33 days on the 5th, and the friendlies end on the 27th. So that's 5 games in 3 weeks. That's superb. That gives us all something to watch. And every game is on Celtic TV. So, there might be small crowds there or whatever. I'm not too sure. I would need to look into that. But so that's what we've got to look forward to anyway, John. We've got 5 games there and the Euros to keep us all occupied in the next few weeks. So let's move on. And the Champions League, John, as well. The group stage doesn't end at the middle of December this year. It ends in January next year, so it's extended. Obviously, we play those extra games in Champions League, so the Champions League is extended this year.
Aye, the new format. Look, we can only hope, wish Celtic all the best and hope they get through into a knockout stage. It's going to be very, very tough. But look, if Matt really sells, we get the Champions League money, we've got the money for last season, we've got the sale of other players. There's a lot of money in Celtic's coffers to possibly try and compete in this Champions League. But Celtic need to spend big. They've got to spend that money. They can't just, look at their savings every now and again and go, we're rolling in it. Get it spent. It's for the team. We need to start spending its under. And any of these project players.
Exactly, John. I don't think it's going to be project players, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think Brendan's put his foot down, and he's obviously he's on holiday just now, Brendan, and that's why we're not hearing anything out of Celtic Park just now. Everybody's away on a well-deserved break, so within the next week or two, John, you'll maybe start hearing some more rumours. I've got rumours here we're going to go through in a wee minute, but some more solid, concrete rumours, if you like, if there's such a thing. Kyogo, John, what's happening? Are we selling Kyogo? Are we keeping him? Is it just rumours? I personally want him to stay. I don't want him to. I don't want him to go. I want him to stay, and I want to Celtic to sign Adam Idah to keep that partnership there, John. So, what are you thinking on Kyogo and Idah at this moment, John?
Well, if they go, they're obviously going to have to be replaced. That's going to cost a lot of money. What's the team Kyogo's linked with the cult again? Some team in Japan anyway.
Yeah.
Urawa Red Diamonds or something like that.
Yeah, I had a wee look earlier. I didn't jot it down, John. I don't know. I just heard the rumour that there's interest in him, and it could be quite a few pounds Celtic would be getting for him if he decides to go. Wages Kyogo now, John, 28, 29, something like that.
Aye, he's coming up for 30. Aye, he's come up for 30. It's definitely Red Diamonds. That's the team he's linked with.
Mm-hmm.
Urawa Red Diamonds or something like that. But aye, well, we can talk about players that should be gone anyway in the transfer window later if you want. But aye, Kyogo, I move away. I would miss him, wouldn't he? He's good at the closing down. He maybe no score a barrel load of goals, but he does score a lot of crucial goals, and he's vital for that closing down. He's better than Idah at closing down. He's got more pace. He's a nuisance for goalkeepers and defenders. How many times has Kyogo nearly scored a goal by closing down keepers? I think he's a vital player for Celtic. I would love to see him stay under.
Yeah, I'm in your camp, John. I want him staying. I don't want him gone. I don't know. I think it was something crazy money has been floated about between 15 and 20 million for Kyogo, but I don't know how much truth is in that. A striker at 30-year-old, I'm not sure, but I just want him to stay. He's a Celtic man. He's a Celtic hero. He's a serial winner. I just want him to stay. And what about Adam Idah, John? I think Norwich are playing a wee bit of hardball here, John, because he's still under contract to 2028. Nothing's come out yet, obviously, but do you think we'll get this one over the line?
I think so. I think Celtic will. Look, Brendan definitely wants Adam Idah, so I can see Celtic getting over the line. And if Frimpong does sell for £40 million this season, which is getting reported, Celtic are on 12 million of that, Xander. That was a great deal. Celtic got with Frimpong the 30%, if the selling clause. So if he does sell for £40 million, Celtic's on to just over £12 million in that. So if you look at things like that, a deal like that could possibly, buy Adam Idah and another player.
Yeah. John, I didn't know that Celtic were on that deal with these contracts. But we were on the same deal with Dembele's contract, and he never sold. Remember that we were going to get 3, 4, 5 million if he sold, and he never ever sold Dembele. But I didn't know that was the same situation with Frimpong. So if he sells from, who is it he's with in Bayern? Leverkusen, is it? Leverkusen. If he goes from Leverkusen, Celtic get a cut of that money.
Celtic are on 30% of that, and the rumours were he was linked with Man United for 40 million quid, Xander. So that's big bucks for Celtic.
That would be great news if that's the case, John. Honestly, that's music to my ears, that, to be honest with you. So hopefully the boy goes to Manchester United then, and that covers the cost of, as you say, Adam Idah and another couple of players, as you say. So yeah, fingers crossed, and we'll still have the £160 million in the bank.
Aye.
It sounds good, eh? It sounds good, but we'll wait and see what happens in the summer. Right, John, you said a minute ago there, go through the players, right, that we should sell. I'm going to read out names to you, right, John? And all I want off you is, well, you can leave a comment as well if you want, but stay, loan, or go. Right, John, here we go. Kobayashi.
Go.
Right. Hatzkavanovic.
Oh, who would take him?
Well, John, it's funny you say that because Stoke don't want him. That's the club he went to. Stoke, they don't want him. So as you say, who would take him? So I take it as a go.
Should I stay or should I go? Aye, get him out the door, aye. Definitely. Well, there's something about Haksabanovic. You can tell he has got ability, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's something about him that he's got a wee bit of ability, but there's also that big thing about him that says, don't let him near your club. Same as, what's his name? Barkas.
Yeah.
For some reason, that deal kind of reminds me of that. He came in with all the promise, great player and all that, and turned out to be a total flop. So, aye, that's a go. Next.
Yeah, Kobayashi's a go for me as well, John, by the way. Hatzkavanovic is a go, and I think his attitude was quite poor into Hatzkavanovic. So, yeah, go for me, John. Mikey Johnson?
Stay.
Yep, stay for me as well. Siegrist?
Go.
Yeah, go for me as well. Lagerbielke?
Go.
Yeah, go for me as well, John. Obviously, McCarthy?
Is he still there?
McCarthy's still there, unfortunately, John. Nothing against the boy personally. It's just cost the club a lot of money on wages. That's not his fault. That's down to the club, John. So McCarthy apparently is linked with that. A move to Hamilton Accies, the club he signed from when he went down to England. So he's got 1 year left in his contract, John. He's 34-year-old. So if he moves to Hamilton, he gets a wee swan song on his way out, didn't he, I suppose? So it's a go for me, John, anyway.
McCarthy, he was a good player when he was younger. Too injury prone. Far too injury prone. He's just been sitting there in the stand collecting his wages. No a bad life, is it? However much he's on, I don't know, 15, 20 grand a week to sit in the stand watching Celtics. No bad, is it?
No, it's okay, isn't it, John? But I mean, the rumours are he was on over £30,000 a week at Celtic. I don't know how true that is. £25,000-30,000 a week. If that's the case, we've lost a heck of a lot of money with this boy McCarthy, John.
Aye, get him shipped to the door as fast as possible. Hamilton Accies only going to pay that kind of money in wages, are they? They want to pay that's their whole team's wages for a year.
That's it, John. No, they're going to want him for a couple of thousand a week, John, if even that. So I think he'll be there to see his contract, and then he would have got 4 years, or is it 5 years deal he signed? 4 or 5 years, can't remember, worth of wages, John. 52 weeks a year times 4 is 208. 208 weeks of £25,000 a week. Anyway, I'm not going to get the calculator out. We'll move on. Tellio, John.
Oh, I had to think about that. That's the Australian boy, isn't it? Go.
Yeah, go for me. He's out at Melbourne. They like him, so get him sold. Get him out to Melbourne. Yeah, move him on. Quan, on loan at St Mirren.
Well, apparently he was doing okay at St Mirren. I don't know. He didn't look like he was up too much when he was at Celtic, but apparently he was doing okay at St Mirren. Maybe another loan season would do him, Xander.
Fair dues, John. Yeah, do you know something? You're thinking what I'm thinking, because I was thinking another loan for Quan. I'm not copying you, honestly. I just think another year would maybe do him the world of goods and take it for there. Oh,
He's not a football player. Go.
right. Go. I want to see him on loan, John, at another club first. I want to see him at Dundee, St Johnstone, even a Hibs. You know, just get him out on loan for a year. See what he can do. You know, see what he can do once he's given a full season, and then we'll take it for there. But I'm on the edge of go as well, if I'm being honest with you. Naroki?
O can go to Dundee or Hibs and stay there as far as I'm concerned. I just don't think the guy's a football player. And Naroki, stay. We always need a central defender for cover. You know, I think we're going to need to bring in another central defender, to be honest with you, a quality one. But for me, Naroki stays.
Yeah, 4.3 million it cost us, John. If we could recoup the 4.3, then fair enough. But if not, stay. Good backup into if any of two centre halves get injured. Yeah, so stay for me as well. Ralston?
I don't know. He's a Celtic man, isn't he? He gives his all. Stay for me for Anthony Ralston.
Yep, stay for me too, John. Stephen Welsh?
That's a go.
Yeah, loan for me. Thiago Home?
That's a go for me as well. Another guy that's failed to impress you. He's had a couple of decent games, but failed to impress. So for me, it's Tata. Go home.
Go home. Yeah, it's leave for me as well, John. He's got to go. He's just he's not the quality we were looking for at Celtic, is he? So go for me as well. Palmer?
Go.
Palmer, go. Maybe no, get him on loan in the SPL, John, for a wee season.
Possibly a loan deal would maybe do for Palmer, because when he first came in, he was on fire, and then he just spoke about it before, missed a penalty for his country, and then became a dud overnight. No, a dud, but
he was on fire, Johnny. I mean, people were actually talking about him being as good as Jota at one point. You know, that's how good he was when he first came in, and then, as you say, he missed his penalty for is it Honduras? I think it's Honduras, isn't it? Anyway, he that's loan for me. I'd send him out on loan for a year. Nicholas Kuhn.
He's since he came in, he's had 2 good games, and that's it. The rest of the games, he's not performed for me. For me, Nicholas Kuhn is a go.
Yeah, I think I give him another season, John. I think he should stay. I think he's clearly got something there, John, and the staff could work on that through the summer, you know. So I'd say give him another season. Obviously, all these players are still under contract as well, John. So there's a lot of dead wood there. And last of all, John, Rocco Vata. I think he's just recently signed a new deal, but should we send him out on loan for a year?
I think so. I mean, I like Rocco Vata, Xander. He is one of the players that I do like. He's got a great cross on him. He goes by a player and doesn't try and do too much. He gets his cross in early, like James Forrest kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I would like Rocco Vata to stay for that reason. There's no, kind of faffing about at the edge of the box, trying to get around a player, try to take it by him 3 times. Mm-hmm. I would keep you Rocco Vata, like you says, maybe a loan deal somewhere in Scotland so we can keep an eye on him. I think that maybe suit him, Xander. Definitely a stay for me. I like him.
Yes, yeah. I think he's a decent player as well. For what I've seen him, John, he's not had many first game starts. So yeah, I'd send him out on loan. Yeah, okay. That wraps that up, John. That's a lot of dead wood there.
There is a lot of deadwood. What about Yang? Do you think he's a stay or a go?
You know, I actually forgot about Yang. I think he should stay. I think he showed a lot of good potential during the season there, didn't he? And his red card up at Hearts, did that mess about with his mind, his head? Where was his head at? I feel like when he was sent off against Hearts, we lost that game. Remember, and he wasn't quite the same since, was he?
Exactly, and there is a player in Yang. I would like him to stay. Another one I think didn't mention is Kobayashi, which is another one that needs to go.
And that was the very first one I mentioned, John. Big defender.
Aye, defender, aye.
Because there's that many. I mean, you're talking 20 players there, John. That's quite a lot, and only maybe 4 or 5 of them we personally want to stay. So let us what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think in the comments. What ones you disagree with, what ones you agree, and just leave a wee comment and we'll mention it on the next podcast. All right, John, that wraps that up. We'll move on. We're getting through this quite quickly, although in saying that, we're over half an hour already. Right, goalkeepers, John. Big Joe's away, isn't he? He's gone. He's off ski, right? There's a few interesting links coming through for the goalkeeper, John, right? And one I noticed today was a link to big Fraser Forster again. I think the big man's about 37 now, isn't he? But what do you think of the big Fraser Forster coming back?
Good experience. He's not going to come back to Celtic permanent. And saying that, Joe Hart did. I'm thinking about wages there, but Fraser Forster's going to be on about 70 grand a week just now. But is he going to come back to Celtic for, I don't know, 20 grand a week or whatever it is? I would like to see, I don't know, maybe somebody a bit younger than that, Xander. But then again, it's always good to have that experience in it. And I think it would be an ideal replacement for Joe Hart, to be honest with you, just because of the experience. So, maybe he's maybe he's no. I'm kind of 50-50 with that one.
Yeah, obviously we're just going into rumours now, John. That's just rumour, obviously. Nobody knows for sure, but that was reported the day, right? Another one I was looking at was the Belgian goalkeeper Castells, I think his name is. 31-year-old, John. He's a free agent, Belgian international goalkeeper. So I don't know if you've heard of this boy, but he's another one on the pipeline.
No, I've never heard of him. Another goalkeeper we missed out was Scott Bain. He should go as well. We definitely need a couple of new keepers in. Scott Bain's he's always there in the background, isn't he? The celebrations and that, you always see him. He's on the bench. For me, he's too small for a keeper anyway, and I really don't rate him as a keeper, to be honest with you. But no, I've never heard of that Belgian boy you're talking about.
No, I've heard of him, John. I've actually seen him playing for Belgium as well. He's only 31, so he's got the experience and he's not too old. I'd be interested in him. As you say, we need a couple of keepers. But what you were saying about Scott Bain there, John, I think when he's came in, he's done okay. I think he's done okay when he's came in. He's been asked to come in, which isn't very often. There was a game he was playing, and I think it was a European game, and he put off with 3 or 4 brilliant saves, and then he let one in under his body. So that's the kind of luck he's got. So we do need a couple of keepers. So big Fraser Forster, Castells, another one here, John, 38-year-old Peretz, Israeli goalkeeper, John, from Bayern Munich. Peretz plays quite often for them. He's out of contract. Another one that's been linked to Celtic, John.
Another pensioner.
What do you think? Go Bayern Munich, it must be half decent, John. I mean, they don't sign duds.
No, they certainly don't. It's another one with the wages, though, isn't it? Then again, if he's 38 years old and out of contract, somebody's going to take him on. I don't know the guy, but I've probably seen all these players before, keepers, but I don't really pay attention, But I need to look them up and see before I have an opinion on them. All I know is we do need a new number 1 keeper, and probably Fraser Forster might fit that bill, even though he's 37-year-old. But big tall guy, isn't he? 6'7" or whatever big Fraser is. He commands the box.
Yeah.
Good presence in the goals. And he's a good shot stopper as well. So I don't know how good he is with his distribution with his feet these days, but that's important for the way Brendan plays, Xander.
Yeah, it's very important, isn't it? He's we just need to watch this space. I don't know how good he is with his feet either, to be honest with you, but we'll watch this space for that one. And the last one I'm going to throw at you, goalkeeper wise, is it's not been any links or anything like that, John. It's just a goalkeeper that I quite like personally. Angus Gunn, Scotland goalkeeper, John. He's got us to the Euros there as well. Angus Gunn, big goalkeeper, good solid goalkeeper there, John. Good shot stopper, good with the ball at his feet as well. Angus Gunn, John. I think Celtic should be looking at him.
Possibly, I like him. I do like him as a goalkeeper. It's a possibility. A couple of good goalkeepers in Scotland just now, actually. And I keep forgetting all the goalkeepers' names, but how many of these teams we played against and are pulling off world-class save after save after save against us. But I think the important thing for Celtic with a goalkeeper, like I say, is how good are they with the ball at their feet? Because that's the way Brendan plays. He's playing out for the back. Keepers have got to be confident. I think Big Joe Hart done that really well. He's a wee bit iffy a couple of times, maybe because of his age or whatever, I don't know. But generally speaking, he was probably 85% good at that, Big Joe Hart. So we're looking for somebody on that level. Their distribution's good and they're good with the ball at their feet, Xander.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we're looking for. As long as he keeps the ball at the net, isn't it? So there's a few links there, John. That was 4. Well, 3 linked to Celtic and 1 that I had a wee look at who I thought was a decent goalkeeper. So let's know what you think in the comments as well, who you think Celtic should sign to replace Big legend Joe Hart. All right, John, left back. This is another position we need strengthening, isn't it? Because we've only got Greg there at the left back position. There's not really anybody that can come in and play in there apart from Ralston. Sometimes go over there, don't he? So it's not ideal, is it? So we need a new left back, John. So I'm going to throw some names that you've probably never heard of any of them, right? But these are all linked to Celtic, John, right? So here we go. The one you probably have heard of, Owen Beck, Dundee left back, John, on loan for the last 2 years at Dundee. He's a Liverpool player. Owen Beck, your wee boy looks decent for any time I've saw him, John. I think that's something Celtic should be interested in.
Aye, it does. He looks decent. Owen Beck, I've seen him before. Aye, obviously watching Celtic, you see him playing against Celtic. He's always looked half decent. Possibility. Greg Taylor is a good left back. Is he enough? Is he good enough to push Greg Taylor out of the left back? Do you think, or do you think he'd just be good for cover though?
Yeah, I think you'd be thinking more like the cover. I think be Owen Beck, but you never know. We thought that about Tierney as well, didn't we? And look at what he did when he first came into the team as well, John. So we'll move on, John, because there's a few to get through here, right? Quentin Merlin from Nantes, John. This boy would cost a few pound, maybe around about £6-7 million for Nantes. 21-year-old left back Quentin Merlin. I hadn't heard him before I read into it, John, but he, by all accounts, he's a half decent left back.
All right, never heard of him, but like I say, I'll need to do my homework on him, watch some on YouTube or whatever. You never go by these YouTube compilations. All you see is the best work that they've ever done. You don't see the rest of it, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. I can't comment on the guy, Xander, because I don't know him, but I'll keep my eyes open on that one.
But I'll mention there's another 3 here, John, right? I'll just go through them and you can give me a wee sum up at the end, right? Tell me if you've heard any of them as well. Gaston Benedetti, Argentinian left back. We've already had an Argentinian left back, haven't we? He cost around about the £3 million mark, John, 22-year-old. So the other one was Androve, Georgian left back, John, plays for Shakhtar Donetsk just now, 22-year-old. Another one that's been linked to Celtic. Another one is Gage Small, he'd be a free agent, 26-year-old. Gage Small, free agent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 left backs linked to the club over the last few days, John.
Aye, that freebie sounds like the one Celtic would go for, doesn't
it? That's what I was thinking as well. The free one, go for the free one.
Fatten up that biscuit tin.
But the one that stood out for me was Merlin. I've heard him as well, John. Quentin Merlin for Nantes. I've heard him before. 21-year-old left back. So I would like to see him come at Celtic. Not to push Greg out, you know, just as cover. We need another left back in there. And obviously all the names are just through you there, John. They're all They're all just rumour, aren't they?
Aye, but we definitely do need a left back, rumour or not. We need a left back in the club. We need another centre back. Like, you listen to Rangers talking about rebuild. There's always next season, etc., etc. But we need to rebuild our team as well, Xander. We can't stand still after winning the League and Cup double. But Celtic's got to strengthen that team. There's a lot of deadwood there, a hell of a lot of deadwood. We've just went through them all.
Yeah.
So we've got to get rid of all them and replace them. Many players did we rhyme off there? 15 players or whatever it was. I don't even know.
It's been 18 and 20 players there, John, and a few we said should stay, but the bulk, maybe about 15 of them, we've said should go.
Aye. Well, get rid of them if we can and replace them with half a dozen decent players that's going to at least be competing for a place in the team. So these players that's deadwood, every Celtic fan will agree with, they need to go because they're just gathering wages. The squad's too big, and it's too big with players that aren't getting a game. That's the thing. If it was too big with quality, we wouldn't be complaining. But it's too big with basically second-rate players that shouldn't be at Celtic, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's it, John. You're totally right. It's thinking of money we would save if I even got short of half of them. You know, these players, they'll all find new clubs, they'll all continue their careers, but they're just no Celtic quality, John. So, and then free up a lot of money as well to get a left back, get Eder in as well, and a goalkeeper, etc. So, all right, John, time moving on. We'll move on to the next wee bit, John. Chris Garden and Jota. Just a wee quick comment. I'm hearing rumours again. You know, it's all rumours, isn't it? That Jota could potentially be coming back. I can't see it happening personally myself, but he's also, though he's leaving the club he's at just now anyway. And this Chris Garden is linked to Celtic yet again, John.
Aye, that will never go away. Some players are like that, constantly linked with Celtic. But Jota coming back, can you see it? I don't think he would come back to Celtic. He's on too much money now. He's like, some players are made for a club. I think Jota was made for Celtic, wasn't he? In my opinion, I think he came to Celtic, he felt loved. You got the best out of him at Celtic. Now he's went to other clubs for big money. Can I get a game for them? He's not rated. He's not feeling loved. He's going to have to find a club where he feels at home again. And I don't think he would have found any other club other than Celtic. That's why you've seen the best of Jota. Celtic got the best of him. He loved the fans. The fans loved him. He was in cloud nine. But then money took over his mind and he had to go. So, don't know. Can you see him coming back due to the money issue yet again, Xander?
Could Celtic not put in a wee £15 million bid for him, John?
That's the wages, though, isn't it? Jota went away to be on about, I don't know how much he was on. Can't remember, but 70 million a week or something like that in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia he went to.
Yeah, that's right, John. But he's not going to get that money anywhere he goes. He's going to have to take a cut no matter where he goes, John. So I think Celtic could give him between £25,000 and £30,000 a week with the big budget we've got now, John, and put in a wee cheeky. Obviously, we're just talking nonsense here, but Celtic could put in a £15 million bid for Jota.
They could, but I don't think they will. But I think Celtic were ideal for Jota, and he just seen the pound signs in his eyes, and off he went. Yeah, I think he's blown his chance, to be honest with you. Would you have him back at Celtic? I wouldn't mind him being there, but yeah, it's an awkward one, that, when I hear that name, Jota. Because I always thought that of Jota. I think Celtic was the ideal club for him. Yeah. And he could have stayed there, been a Celtic hero, finished his career there. But another guy that just, I don't know, seen the pound signs and jumped to ship.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, John. Let's be honest, let's be frank about it. It's not going to happen. But I'll take him back in a heartbeat. John is top quality winger, but you know, I don't think Brendan would be interested in it, to be honest with you. So it's just rumours. That's all we can speak about just now is rumours and gossip, isn't it? All right, John. Competition, right? Let's mention it one more time. Mystery voice, one guess each into the comments there. Have a wee listen to this. So it's not too difficult if you put your mind to it, you know, look at the strip, etc., etc., you'll get it, no problem. Well, no problem, but you'll give you a better idea, I suppose. One guess each, remember, folks, to win the Zippo lighter and the ballpoint pen. Both prizes are yours if you get it right. Obviously, if there's more than one correct entry, it has to go to a draw, John. So that's the only way we can do it. So get entering, folks. Get your entries into the comments. Right, John, it's comments time. What have you got for us?
All right. Well, just before we do that, then Hatate, apparently Ange was in looking at Hatate, and you think there's any truth in that? You think Hatate would get a game for Spurs?
I think Hatate would have flourished in there, John. Honestly, which kind of bid were they talking about? I know it's just rumours again, but what kind of bid was the rumour saying?
Oh, I don't know. It was just something I read. I don't think there even was a price involved. Apparently, he was interested in 2 Celtic players. I think the other one might have been Matt O'Reilly to Spurs. Would you think of that? I think he would get a game done in Spurs. Got a lot of good players in Spurs.
Both of them would get a game, John. I've absolutely no doubt. No matter how good their players are done there, I think both of them would play just about every week. But Matt O'Reilly, that's a potential. I think he's going to go anyway, to be honest with you. And Hatate, I hope he stays because he's brilliant. But I think he would do well in England, to be honest with you.
Aye, I think so as well. I think both Hatate and Matt O'Reilly would do great down there. Matt O'Reilly, Hatate, and Dyson Maeda, I think the 3 of them would thrive down there. But I think Dyson loves it at Celtic. I don't think Dyson would be going anywhere. I certainly hope no anyway. Because to me, he's one of the most important players. Him, Matt O'Reilly, Hatate, Callum McGregor, and Carter Vickers. They're the 5 mainstays for me in Celtic. And I would just love Brendan to build a team around the 5 of them's under. That would be ideal for me.
Aye, well, the way I look at it, John, is the team that won the league and the Scottish Cup at the end of the season, the 11 players should all stay. Every one of them, all 11, and build the team around about the 11, John.
Aye, Alistair Johnston, that's another one of our top players. Aye, but the team that won the league, build the team around them. I totally agree with you there, Xander. I would build the team around the team that won the league last season. You might find that a few of them might end up on the bench next season, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? Competing for spaces.
Yeah, we've got to evolve, haven't we? And obviously that's excluding Joe Hart, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that's right, John. There could be players on the bench depending on the quality we bring in the summer.
Exactly, aye. Well, they're not competing for spaces, they're competing for places, of course. Anyway, let's go with these comments.
Yeah.
And first up, this is from after the league win. That's the last time we were on after we won, the league, the Scottish Cup.
Yeah.
One club since 1888. I'm going to miss this pod. Total honesty, well done, the champions. Back in your box. Buns. Is that one of the Shanklin Spangled ones?
The Shanklin Spangled bun. As soon as these comments start, that's when you start laughing. Aye, John. Aye, he's you don't need to miss us because we're going to be on every week. So we're not going anywhere, John. No, but we're going to be on every week.
Aye. There's always the Euros to comment on and friendlies to comment on. A lot of stuff to comment on. Thanks for your comment, One Club.
Yeah, John, just to interrupt, we're going to next weekend. We're going to do the wee special on the team that won the double. So that's a wee special for next weekend, just to let everybody know.
All right. Anyway, next up was Rosemary. Well, I look forward to that, the team that won the double, because to me that's, like I says to you, the last time we done a podcast, that double's right up there with the centenary year for me. Is my favourite, celebration times, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
But and I can feel the banter years coming back. I think the Sevco are struggling. That's always good, isn't it? They're obviously rebuilding, and they're going to do this next season and that next season. They're going to be this and they're going to be that. You know, the old nonsense that they spill. Been listening to the Clyde phone in, just brilliant. It's brilliant to listen to them slabbing a load of nonsense. The Rangers fans, you know.
Yeah, just before you move on, John, it's when will they learn? to do their talking after the trophies are handed out? Why do they always, it's a Celtic podcast, but that they're our immediate opponent. So why do they always do that, John? Why do they always open their mouths and tell us what they're going to do rather than talk about what they've actually done?
Well, it's the sense of total entitlement, Xander, if you ask me. They think they're entitled to this stuff. They honestly believe that they're the best team in the world. They sang a song about it, the most successful team in football. Now, who they try to kid? They actually believe that. That's the mentality of these people. And they just will never learn to keep their mouth shut, like you says. Even the players are like that. After getting scalped in Europe, was it Tavernier says it's all right, we'll beat Celtic at the weekend, and then they get scalped. They just never learn. But I don't know. I find it quite funny.
I've never heard a Celtic supporter saying we're going to win the treble, unless we're 30 points clear and into the final against Raith Rovers. I've never heard a Celtic supporter saying we're going to win the treble. They always celebrate once it's done. So anyway, John, we'll move on.
No, that wee video you put up with there's always next year, that wee specky guy. I think he's a wee English guy with the specs.
Yeah.
Treble was truly on. After beating, I don't know who it was, Dundee or something like that, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Hearts it was. After beating Hearts, I think it was. Honestly, any Rangers fans, we're not having a laugh at you as well. We are having a laugh because you've never learned. Talk about winning trebles and whatever trophy. Talk about winning a cup when you're in a final. We could win this cup, that's fair enough. There's a chance of win that you can say that if you're in the final. But don't do it 6 months in advance. You just make yourselves look stupid. Like Xander says, you never hear Celtic fans saying that, we're winning the title. Man, theirs were shredded. Even getting into the Kilmarnock game, we won 5-0.
Yeah.
That we might not win the title,
That's it, John. That's what the Celtic supporters are like. They're nervous. They're not ever overly confident. Unless, as I say, it's as a gimme. Then we're always very cautious. And just before you move on to the next comment, John, Facebook, John, you just mentioned it there. The video, all the extra content is on Facebook, Drips. So get over to the Facebook Xander John page for all the extra content. We can't put any extra content on YouTube anymore, unfortunately. So just head over to Xander John on the Facebook page, John. And that video you're talking about is at 31,000 views.
Aye, that's brilliant, Xander. 31,000 views. If only we could get that on the YouTube videos, eh?
Yeah, it's outstanding, isn't it, John? Outstanding.
Aye, it is. It's a good achievement and well done with your Facebook page. It seems to be going really, really, really well. So anybody listening on YouTube, get over to Facebook, watch the videos you can't see here. And if you're listening on Facebook, get over to YouTube and subscribe. Aye, Xander, it's just the sheer sense of entitlement. That's what it is. They feel entitled. They believe that they're the best team in the world, and that's where it comes from. Trust me, that's what they think of themselves. It's the sense of entitlement. Anyway.
Yeah, who was the commenter, John? Because that was quite a good comment, actually.
That was what comment?
The last comment.
It was One Club since 1888. It was the last one.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for the comment, pal. Did we spend all that time in one comment?
All that time in one comment. That's what I was wondering what you talking about. I've only read one.
Sorry.
I read one and I told you who it was.
Right, moving on then, John.
Right. Rosemary was up next. Well done, lads. Great first year as a podcast. Hail, hail, and thank you. Thanks very much for that, Rosemary. Much appreciated.
That's right. There was a lot of goodwill wishes there, John, weren't there, in the comments? We've not even been doing it a year, actually. So appreciate everybody that's stuck with us through the strike and all the rest of the 2 strikes, and all the new commenters and viewers as well. We appreciate everybody that has any connection with the channel.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more with that, Xander. Thanks very much for that, Rosemary.
Yeah, cheers, Rosemary.
Next up was someone else's nostalgia. How can you have somebody else's nostalgia?
I don't know.
It's a good name, right enough, someone else's nostalgia, but someone else's nostalgia, let me know how you managed to get a hold of that.
Yeah, someone else's nostalgia. Don't know.
Anyway, thanks for the comment. Someone else's nostalgia. I'll just read it out. It says, well done on your first season as a podcast, lads. Glad it's still going. and it's only going to keep getting better. Hail, hail. Thanks very much for that, pal. It's a great comment. Thanks.
Yeah, good stuff. Someone else's nostalgia. Thanks, pal, and keep the comments coming in, buddy.
Aye, they're all having a real laugh for your names. So when I see names like that, people use these kind of names. You kind of wonder where they get it from. So let us know where you got it from. Someone else's nostalgia.
Yeah, let us know. John, whatever
And-
happened to Ghost Tracker? Never heard from him. I think the last time I heard from him or her was about 5 months ago, wasn't it?
Aye, he's probably at haunting houses.
Used to comment every single podcast, about 5 different comments a podcast, and then just packed it in. Anyway, come back if you're listening, Ghost Tracker, because you're sadly missed.
Aye. Everybody that doesn't comment anymore, come back in here, leave your comments, because we enjoy reading them out. It's the most fun part of the podcast, because that's what we like to do. We like to hear from you. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up was Eclectric Minecraft Builds. Don't worry, all you hurting current buns. The Diddy League Cup is a great achievement for a 12-year-old team. Milk it while you can. You can always enjoy watching Glasgow Celtic counting all the trophies they won.
Yeah, John, that's another good comment. You know, we don't want to pick on Rangers here, right? We don't, because we're a Celtic podcast. The other rivals, we've got to talk about them because that's who we're up against. But James Tavernier, John, this one league trophy in 9 or 10 years, and that's got an asterisk beside it as well because of COVID, John. Is he the most unsuccessful? And I'm going to say Old Firm because we're going way back to the 60s and 70s here, right? Is he the most unsuccessful Old Firm captain in history?
I couldn't tell you, but it certainly seems that way. He's been there, like he says, about 10 years. The new team's been gone for 12 years. He's won one trophy in his tenure there. No tenure, but his time there. He's won one Scottish Cup and one League Cup, all at different times, of course. It wasn't a treble.
Mm-hmm.
But he won the league during the COVID season when people were worried about their families dying and all that, and they went and won the league. Nobody was interested in it, but they went and won it, and that's the only way they would win a league. So, he possibly is the least successful captain out of the two teams, Rangers and Sevco. I would say so.
I'm thinking back to when Celtic went through the bad times in the 90s. The captain was Paul McStay, but he had these glory years as well at Celtic, so he had his good times as well as the bad. So he had a lot of trophies. McStay. We had who else did we have as the captain? Paul Lambert. He won a good few trophies. Yeah, I think he is, John. Even looking at Rangers, where they had as captains, Big Souness and that, all successful players. Who was the captain before Tavernier? I don't even know. If Barry Ferguson, he was successful, wasn't he, John? So I think he's the most unsuccessful captain in the Glasgow Derby history, John.
Quite possibly. I was listening to Rangers fans on the phone and talking about push Tav up one. Getting your left back. Oh, deluded FC. Anyway. I'd say he's a successful captain. Anyway, Roseanne was up next, Xander, and she says, thanks for your comment, Minecraft. Roseanne was up next and says, I'm glad this is all over for a while, guys. I need a mental and physical break. We better enjoy it, because it won't be long till it's back again. Talking about the league starting up again. But it's been fabulous kicking these donkeys. Thanks for the podcast, guys. You've kept me going all year. Brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Roseanne. It's always great to hear from you. One of our great regulars, of course.
Yeah.
As is Minecraft. All the previous ones are all good regulars as well.
Yeah, that's right, John. Minecraft, Roseanne. Just get my notes here, John. The 3rd of August, the league starts, John. So it's a month. You're talking 4.5 weeks, and we've got a lot of friendlies before that as well. So it's no long till it actually kicks off again.
No, it's no long. Don't think anybody will be hurt about getting beaten a friendly if we get beat or whatever. But even if we win our friendlies, we'll enjoy them. But look, the league kicks off on the 3rd of August, Roseanne. So you've got 2 months to just take in the season we just had. One of the best doubles. This is probably the best double I've experienced in my life, being a Celtic fan. and I'm sure all the Celtic fans feel the same way. That and the centenary year, very close, Xander. But everybody listening, and you, especially Roseanne, I know you're saying you're going to enjoy it because it won't be long till it's back. But be positive. I think we're going to be able to see a stronger Celtic next season. We're not going to go saying we're going to win the treble or anything, because we're not like that. But I think we'll be seeing a stronger Celtic next season, Roseanne. So you can look forward to seeing that, I think.
Yeah, that's well said, John, and well said, Roseanne, as well. Just there's 8 weeks to go for the league to start, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy the summer. That's all I say to every Celtic supporter.
Absolutely, and thanks for that, Roseanne.
Cheers, pal.
And next up was Paul McCune, another regular. Thanks, Paul. Paul says, "Hail, hail the Celtic and the Celtic women."
Yeah, both champions. Moving on. Cheers, Paul.
The Celtic women have won the same amount of titles as James Tavernier.
I mean, I don't want to go on about it again. Just a wee quick 2 seconds. For him to be there that long, 10 years, John, and win one league title. Anyway, moving on.
Well, who cares? It happens, doesn't it? Anyway, we would never sell a club another regular. What's the goalie doing, Tom? What's the goalie doing? And I hope you are feeling the pain.
There's a lot of pain. Trust me. I've seen it, John. There's a lot of pain. Thanks for the comment. And thanks for the comment through the season as well. And keep viewing, keep listening through the close season, because we're going to be on every week, maybe even twice a week.
Well, it's hard to do twice a week when there's nothing happening, Xander, unless you want to do what other podcasts used to do and have a quiz. Well, you would win because I'm hopeless because my memory's terrible. But
I don't know about that, John. I do all my homework first. That's how I sound like I know my stuff. I do all my homework first, and then I start reading it out. So my memory's terrible as well. So we'll maybe have a wee look at a quiz, eh?
Aye, maybe, aye. You don't. The only quiz that I would have a chance of winning is maybe on the current team, but definitely no any past teams and all that. Honestly, I forget everything. I used to remember all that stuff, but I think the older I got, I just started to just forget about it. The only things I don't forget is the big trophy wins and all that stuff. But if you ask me who played number 7 for Celtic in 1991, I thought, what are you talking about? You're talking a foreign language to us or something here?
There's people out there that know all that stuff, isn't there? We'll do plenty through the close season. There'll always be something to do, something to talk about. So, as I say, the next podcast is going to be a special on the double winning champions, John. I'm looking forward to that, actually.
We'll do that. Double winning champions podcast special. That'll be a good one. Anyway, we'll blast through these, Xander, because we're getting to the hour mark. James Doran says that was a blatant handball, Xander. And Alan Hutton is a bitter man, and I hope he's feeling the pain now. He was feeling the pain.
Oh, he was terrible, John. That was the worst I've heard. And I've heard Chris Boyd, and I've heard Alan McCoist, and all the rest of them, Kenny Miller. But this Alan Hutton, he couldn't say the word Celtic. He was telling everybody what Rangers need to do. Obviously, they couldn't do it, but he was telling everybody what they need to do. And it was just total bias against Celtic, John. If everybody that watched it on, was it Premier Sports? Everybody that watched it must have heard that. So, guy was dreadful, absolutely dreadful, John. So I hope he is hurting.
Oh, he was shocking, aye. He couldn't get his words out for the rage and all that stuff, aye. Terrible. Yeah. Anyway, James had another comment. He says, we were lucky Beaton wasn't the referee yesterday, because he definitely would have let that Sefco goal stand. Well, he was on VAR, was he not?
He was on VAR, yeah. And he called over the disallowed goal, didn't he? So, but the penalty, John, I was surprised at that. I think, who is it mentioned that? Paul, was it?
No, it was James.
James Doran, yeah. I think it was an absolute stonewall penalty for me, that, John. When you look back at the handballs that were given all through the season, not just against Celtic, but against other clubs in the league, John, that was 10 times worse.
Aye. Oh, it was 10 times worse. But it doesn't matter. The end result's always the same, Xander, at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter what they do to try and defeat us, because they won't do it. Next up was Typhoon Tim, who says it's their place. What's he talking about? It's their place. So it's obviously something's been spelt wrong. You've put there instead of there. Oh, it's one of the guys that think they're the spelling police. You're just a clown, mate. Beat it. Don't come back to the channel. We don't need your type here. Beat it. Mug.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Next up was Albert McCready. Was there no McCready in the thing?
McCready, aye. He's a main actor in it, isn't he?
Kurt Russell, aye.
Kurt Russell, that's him. I couldn't remember his name there. That's how good my memory is, John.
Aye, and if anybody's seen The Devil's Rejects, look at Alan Hutton, how much he looks like the clown for The Devil's Reject.
The actual clown.
Aye, an actual clown, aye.
He does a bit, aye, he does, aye.
Aye.
Anyway,
Albert McCready up next. We were muck during the COVID season. Appalling. Manager had lost the plot and many players eventually chucked it. Well, aye, the guys like Ryan Christie, Edward, what's his name, Stuart Armstrong, guys like that, I don't want to see any of them anywhere near Celtic again. Because they did chuck it. Now, I'm not totally blaming Neil Lennon for the COVID season. I'm blaming the players. And look, you can't blame players for no putting on a performance. You're in the middle of a world pandemic. The last thing in a lot of these players' minds was playing football. They're worried about, there was a lot of deaths and all that, Xander. It was a really hard time for players and all that. So I don't think that helped.
Yeah, that's right, John. Do you remember? I was thinking back to it. I was reading the comments and the COVID came up, and somebody was mentioning about how bad Celtic were. But you got to remember, Celtic, every game they played, they had 6-7 players out because of COVID. Do you remember that? 6-7 players out, and Rangers played every single game with a full squad for some reason. Do you remember that, John? That was, and not only Celtic, every other team in the league was ravaged with COVID. Suspensions, COVID, missing players, John, because of COVID, ravaged with COVID injuries. I feel like every team in the league had that, and Rangers played just about every game with no COVID outbreak whatsoever, John.
Oh, I remember it well, aye, and they COVID for their team all through the season, and all they wanted was hunger to stop Celtic doing the 10, and they did do it, but they did it in a time when the world was in crisis. So, anyway, we spoke about that before. Aye. So, thanks for your comment, Albert McCready, anyway.
Yeah, cheers, Albert.
Next up was Red Zepp. He says that was a penalty if you go by the standards of a Riley penalty, but neither should have been penalties. Disallowed goal was soft, even though it was a foul, but the ref had an okay game.
Fair enough. We both said the penalty was soft, didn't we? The disallowed goal, sorry. Because it was a week ago, I was trying to think back. We both said that was soft, John, didn't we? We both said that. So fair enough, he's right there. And the penalty was a penalty, but it wasn't given anyway, so we move on, as you say. Thanks for your comment.
Well, like he says, if you go by the day standards, it's definitely a penalty, because we've seen things that should never have been anywhere near a penalty handed out to Celtic. We'll go back to it again. Iwata, never a penalty. What a player Iwata is, by the way. That's another player I'd want to stay at Celtic. But the penalty was, to me, if you're going by the day standards, that was a penalty. Anyway, we would never sell a club. Pathetic co-commentary from Alan Hutton saying that Hart was pushed by Raskin, and I hope he is feeling the hurt today. He was feeling the hurt. I'll blast through another couple. The last one, in fact, Xander. Thomas Cuddihy. I think I've seen Thomas here before. Thomas has put some kind of, I don't know. I'll read it out anyway. I don't know what he's talking about. There was a wee woman looking out her window, called the push on Joe. She was faster than the ref by 5 minutes, and beat VAR from afar. Schoolboy push, which you didn't even have to slow down to see it clearly. Telegraph tackle, telegraph push. So amateur. It's like playground stuff, and primary at that now.
Yeah, well, do you know something? I agree with him, because why would you do that when it's such a dangerous ball whipped into the box, John, and you push the goalkeeper? Why would you do it? That is playground stuff, isn't
it? You put your hands on a goalkeeper in the box, it's an automatic foul, Xander. It's as simple as that. And that wasn't just putting your hands on the keeper. That was a shove. the correct decision was made. No goal. You don't get goals for shoving a keeper. And look, and I think it was James that says earlier, talking about Beaton. If Beaton was on the park, it would have been given. Quite possibly, I don't know, but I can only be thankful that Beaton was actually on VAR that day and called that over.
That is basically just done his job. You know, I wonder who it was that actually noticed it, because you couldn't see it in normal time. You just, I don't know, I've never seen it. I don't know, I've not heard or spoke to anybody that's seen it in normal time, John. So it was a good spot, Beaton on the VAR.
It definitely was, because I think if Rangers scoring that goal and it would have counted, if that goal would have counted, I don't think Celtic were coming back for that, Sander, because Celtic coming back for being down in a game, they're not very good at it.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way, John, it would have been very tough. Remember the heat and everything else that was going on that day. The atmosphere as well, the electric atmosphere. The Celtic players were getting tired. They scored their goal, and I think that disallowed goal just gave the Celtic players a massive boost.
It certainly did. You couldn't take the smell off Brendan's face at the end of that game. It was really nice to see Brendan, and he was so happy. He's looked kind of miserable because of all the flack that he got, but yeah, he just looked as happy as what's his name, Edward, when he signed for Crystal Palace. If you remember that picture I sent you one yesterday.
That's right. Yeah, I put that up. Yeah, he looked exactly same. He looked the same level of happiness, let's put it that way. And why not? Just won the double, John. It's just his first season back. You got to remember as well, you know, a lot of people gave him no chance, gave Rangers every chance of winning the trophies. And Brendan walks out at the end of May, like you said, with a League and Cup double. That's why he's got the massive grin on his face.
It was really nice to see that with Brendan. Why was Edward laughing that much at signing for Crystal Palace? Never won a thing. It's just money.
Yeah, that's it. No, he's you know, Edward was decent at Celtic, but it's the way he left, isn't it? That's what stuck in my throat, if you like. He sort of gave up, didn't he, when he played for Celtic? I remember one particular chance. I'm not getting on here, but there was an absolute golden chance against Rangers, and it just didn't look interested in him, and he fluffed his lines. You remember that one?
If I can't remember who played number 7 in 1991, Zander.
No, I remember the performances that Edward put in, John, before he left, and I don't want to see him anywhere near a Celtic jersey, the same as you, John, to be honest with you.
Oh, no, I don't want him anywhere near Celtic, Edward. I know he's been linked a couple of times, but I wouldn't have him anywhere near Celtic. Him, Armstrong, and Ryan Christie are the three players I never want to see anywhere near Celtic again, because from my memory, they were the three that downed tools and let Celtic down badly that season. Not just they three, there was other players as well. You guys like Scott Brown, who were putting in their shift and all that. James Forrest trying his heart out. But there was a lot of players like Christie, Armstrong and Edward, and they three stick out because they wanted away from Celtic. And I don't think that helped the dressing room either. That COVID and all that stuff. There's a big blend of different things at that time, so I'm not just going to blame Neil Lennon, Zander. You can't do that.
No. It was a collective thing, wasn't it, that season? So, yeah. But we move on. Double champions, John. You know, an absolutely outstanding season, wasn't it? As I say, we're going to have a wee look back on it next weekend. We're going to do a wee special for the League and Cup double winners, John. So, tremendous achievement by Brendan and the players this season. But the day was all just about rumours and updated news, John, because we've not been known for round about a week. So we'll wrap it up there, John. We'll wrap it up. We'll catch us all next weekend for the special, the League and Cup double special. Anything you want to add before we go, John?
It's just as well we don't get any money for this, so we'll be skint right now. We're only doing one podcast a week just now. Because all these other podcasts are on every night, aren't they? Trying to squeeze every bit of juice out it, trying to get every penny out the Celtic fans and off YouTube and all that. Well, we're just a wee couple of guys. We do it for nothing, don't make a penny. So it's just as well we don't make any money off it. Or be skint.
Not a coin comes our way, John. Not one single pence. So, yeah. one a week just now is plenty. We'll be doing 2 or 3 a week once the season starts back again. So thank you everybody for listening. Thank you. If you're going to leave a comment, hit the like button, go over to Facebook and then go over to see us on the Xander John page over on Facebook for extra videos, and we'll catch you all next weekend. So hail for now, troops.
Hail, Xander. Speak to you later, mate.
Catch you later, mate. Bye bye.